Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Behind the Scenes, and this one is a long time coming, but I think you all know exactly who it is. It is the Rock and Rave Experience, and these two are an incredible team. So we're going to run down the history, the backstory, my thought process behind the attires, and all of that good stuff. So the Rock and Rave Experience, they are an incredible team. They came in at the beginning of the 2K20 season. They are the 2021 Tag Team of the Year. And honestly, they're two of my favorite characters I've made. These two are phenomenal. They're a good gimmick. The Rock and Rave Experience is probably going to go down as one of the greatest gimmicks in CEW history. They're such a good team. And honestly, you know, they've got an X Factor match, you know, for the tag titles. And I think a lot of people are thinking that it could be their time. Will it be their time? You'll have to watch and find out. But as you can see here, I was doing hair dye. Now, the hair dye in this game is a bit weird. Nothing that I couldn't deal with, but it was a little bit on the okay, it's a bit weird side. But it did glitch, but it was a really, really good glitch. So what happened was, is for some weird reason, despite me not even dyeing those bits of the hair, it gave me slight flecks of pink within the blue. And, you know, at the first when I was looking at it with David Creed, I was like, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of it. But looking back, I'm like, actually, I'm a huge fan of that. So as you can see, I'm just making sure that's perfectly lined up. The hair dye genuinely took quite a bit of time because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with that kind of stuff. I was looking at different eye options and I went, nah, just go with blue. For facial features, there's nothing too crazy bar the hair dye with these guys. And honestly, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was having to look at the dye just to make sure that I was happy with it. And then we get to the tights. So I had a few ideas, and then I was like, I just wanted to look for tights with a good texture, because custom images just kind of mimic the texture that they're given. And then I just got to work on the gear. So what I went for was I created two separate versions of these with two different gradients. One for Creed, one for Gino. And then I halved them, so that then you get that nice sort of two-tone look throughout the entirety of the gear. And as you can see, because I was applying like boots and knee pads and stuff, I could squeeze down or squash down the textures on the actual leg part of the gear, so that then it looked a little bit more cohesive with the rest of the tights. And then I was just looking for knee pads. I wanted to look for something a little bit cool. Like, I went for that, then realized that the coloring was a bit off. So I found the second version. I believe those are Akira Tozawa. I can't talk today. I believe those are Akira Tozawa knee pads. I'm probably wrong. And I went for, I think I was originally going to go with white boots, but I went for black because it's just so colourful that I thought, you know, just go with black boots, adds a little bit of contrast. And then I ended up just chucking on that texture to the arm, to the armbands, to the wristbands, whatever you want to call them. And then for the jacket, I wanted to stick sort of similar to what they were having originally. I think I did at one point think about going for like a New Day-esque one, but I went for something along. I went for this one in the end, because I thought that it looked cool and it just works with the whole aesthetic of the Rock and Rave Experience. As you can see, I'm just chucking on their brand new logo onto the back of the waistcoat, which is, I think it's the first time ever we're seeing David Creed with the waistcoat. And I went for these cool looking shades because how can you not? make them purple. They shine purple in the light. And then we move on to everyone's favourite party animal, and the man that made it to the semi-finals of the Trial by Combat tournament, Ricardo Gino. Now, Gino, without a shadow of any doubt, is probably one of my favourite CEW wrestlers. The Rock and Rave Experience are definitely up there as like two of my personal favourites to create and to just create gear for. And, you know, I wanted to slightly tweak them. I didn't want to go with anything too crazy in terms of tweaks this year, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. And, yeah, as you can see, once again, with the body morphing, I'm still not a fan of it, because if you want to be a light heavyweight, you've got to be, like, either incredibly tall with a cruiserweight build, or incredibly small with a light heavyweight build. There is no in between, and thank God they didn't get rid of Gino's hair. Like, if they got rid of this mohawk, which I get the feeling they might at some point, I'm gonna be really annoyed. As you can see, once again, went for the dye. I will probably go back and touch that up just a little bit so that it's not super kind of wonky, but I was doing this quickly because I didn't want this entire video to be like 20 minutes long. Because fun fact, each of these guys' attires took me about 20 minutes to make. You're just seeing it at like 400% speed. And as you can see, instead of going for the blue in the beard this year, I decided against that and thought, you know what, just go for a natural looking beard. I originally wanted to go with these tights. I looked at them and had like a moment of like, damn, maybe these would look cool. But I was like, just take a look at the custom images instead. Just try and make the gear and then see how it looks. Originally I was thinking of going over like the tiger stripes, and I was like, no, go for the gear. And then as you can see, it actually works incredibly well with these tights, because you can still see the tiger print underneath. Now, I know a lot of people aren't necessarily fans of that, but I like it. It's a little bit of extra detail added to the gear that just makes Gino's gear stand out and makes it pop a bit more, which, you know, I'm always a fan of. I'm always looking for ways for these guys to stand out. I will say I'm definitely having a lot of fun just recording the process for these for these gears, because, you know, sometimes you look at the gear once and you're like, yeah, that looks perfect. And then you'll go back and you know you're gonna see it when CEW starts up in July, hopefully, August, but we'll see. You'll see that sometimes gear changes, because that's what happens. You'll see me be happy with it at one moment, and then, you know, I won't be. Oh, and then we get to the glove. Now, this is a thing that he had in his 2K19 attire, because I did make him for 2K19 to compete in, like, events alongside SCD, etc. And that is the glowing glove. Now, you've seen the regular glove before. Back when he used to have the grand backhand as a finisher, aka the Hand of God, but now it's just a glowing one, because I think that looks cool. And then I ended up getting rid of the glove on the other hand, because I thought the one glove just worked a little bit better. And then I can't remember if I went for yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about chucking the logo onto there, because that was originally his thing. But then I think I ended up changing it to a jacket instead. Oh no, I went for the baseball jersey. That's what I went for. Because that's what he was rocking at the end of the 2K20 saga, and that's what I wanted to go with. So that is the Rock and Rave Experience, which means that all that's left to do is to take a look at their entrance.